Hey guys, it's me vexeval and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to utilize Unity's built-in vehicles pack, which is part of the standard assets pack, so that you can kickstart your progression on making games, and you can make racing and flying games. You can start making them pretty easily. You might want to upgrade this later, but you can also, but for starting out making a racing game or something, all you need to do is build the environments, and you can use these really nice pre-made assets to start out your game. So yeah, let's get started. I have already launched Unity with the Unity Hub, which you can just go up here and search Unity Hub, and you can launch that there. But if I open up mine here, let's get straight into this. So making sure that when you hit installs right here, making sure you're either on or using any version of Unity 2018 or Unity 2017. Now I know there's some issues regarding certain things in 2019. So if you could prefer to to stick with 2018 at least for this tutorial, that'll be great. So now what we're gonna do here, we're gonna go back to projects. We're gonna hit new, and if you're on if you're using Unity Hub or whatever, you're gonna hit this little drop down if you have more than one install, and choose any 2018 version you're liking. I prefer 2018.4. So yeah, we're gonna use that, and all these default settings should be good. But you could call this something like Unity. I'm gonna call mine Unity Vehicles. Wow, I really spelled that one. Unity Vehicles, and we're gonna making sure it's 3D, and you wanna hit create. It'll take a little bit for this thing to create a new project, but after that's done, we'll once Unity is launched, we're going to be able to get started and check this out. Alright. Now that my Unity's launched, we can start getting our layout set up. So I'm going to be starting out with getting our vehicles imported here. So let's go over to the asset store, and remember, if you don't have this, you just go to window and then hit asset store, and it will open up the window for you. So now that we're in the asset store, let's load up a little bit. We're in now. We can see all the stuff that people are selling on here. For now, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna look for standard assets and search that. And this may be bit grayed out for me, but it'll probably look pretty good for you if you're just trying this out. And you want to click on that. And once that pops up, it's gonna say for Unity 2017.3, but it still works for 2018, and I've used it in 2018. It does work. So let's check this out, and let's hit it. For you, it's gonna say download. For me, it's gonna say import. If you haven't used this before, it's gonna say download. So once you download that, you can hit import. It's gonna decompress a bit. Once my computer's a bit fast, so it'll probably do this decently fast, up to my knowledge here. But once it gets its decompressing done, we'll be able to import it using a window over here. If you end up a monitor, it might be on a different monitor, which can be annoying. But yeah, once that hops up, you should see this little window here. The standard assets page has all this stuff. If you want to in the future, you can actually decide what you want to import and what you don't want to import. But for now, I'm just gonna import everything's already selected, so it's checked. If it's not, you can hit all, and it will just select all of them, and you just hit import, and then it will start doing its importing process, which actually can take a decent amount of time. Not forever, just a decent amount of time, considering on the power of your computer's hardware. But it should go decently fast for me, but not lightning fast, because it still takes a little bit to import all this stuff. Alright, so once that's all done and your stuff is all imported, this window will go away, and to make sure it works, you'll notice two new folders have appeared: standard assets and sample scenes. So now you can go over back to your scene window. Now, sample scenes will come with standard assets. It comes with a few scenes and items that will kind of just help you figure out the ropes of Unity and everything, and some stuff like this to test out different things, abilities that it has. But once we can just get out of there for now. Let's go into standard assets. Open that up. It'll show you a list of stuff here. and we're gonna go, wait, today we want to go to not characters, we want to go all the way over and we want to open vehicles over here. So once you open that, we're gonna go over, we have two things you can use, aircraft and car. I'm gonna show you guys how to use car first. So you open up car, you have all the stuff that comes with the car, but we're gonna want the prefab. So you open that up, you're not gonna drag any of these in now yet. First, what you're going to want to do is make some kind of road for the car to drive on, which is pretty important. So if we right click over here and we hit 3D object in cube, we want to right click on the, we go over here to inspector, right click on the text transform, not anywhere else, and hit reset. That'll put it at 0, coordinates. I'm going to scale this up a little bit by grabbing the centerpiece to scale all of the pieces uniformly. And I'm going to scale it up a bit. I'm going to grab the Y handle, make that pretty flat, almost like ground. And then I'm going to scale it up even more so that it's pretty flat and continuous. So once we get that, let's see here, we got that, we got ground area here we can drive on, which is pretty nice. I'm going to extend this a little bit more. Now we can drag the car. So you're going to want to get car, not car waypoint base, because we haven't done that one yet. I might go into that in a future video, but we're going to want to select car. I'm going to drag that in and try to bring it to the center of your area. Now it will load it in and it will have a ton of different weird boxes and things over it, but this is the basics for your racing game. So you notice if you were to start this right now and hit play, it would start, and you start hearing car sounds and you'd be able to drive the car, yet there's one big big problem that I think you all are noticing right about now, as the feature that the camera is not following the car. The car is driving independently. I mean, you can just drive the car off, which is pretty exciting, but you have no car. It's gone forever. Alright, so yeah, just stop playing there. We're gonna want to first of all, we're gonna want to delete the main camera. Select that, and we're gonna delete that. We're gonna go to standard assets, and when you're doing stuff with stuff like this, you're gonna want a camera that will follow your car. So we're gonna use something. We could just create a new camera and drag it into the car and reposition it, which would look okay. But sometimes you want a smooth camera that looks like dynamic and good. So we're gonna go to the cameras folder inside standard assets. We're gonna want to go to prefabs. Now there are 4 different stuff here, 4 different models and stuff here. But the one you want is the multi-purpose camera rig. So you're gonna drag that in. It doesn't even have to be anywhere. It can be anywhere you want. For this purpose, I'm gonna reset it and put it at 000. And for the most part, it will sometimes know what to target, like a car or a plane. But if you don't, you want to click. You want to see. Oh, you don't want to click on it, but you want to go focus on multi-purpose camera rig. You're gonna see this area here that says target car transform. If it says none for you, then you're gonna want to go over and you're gonna press and hold. Do not just click. You want to press and hold the car. Drag this from here all over and drag it over this box, and it should highlight blue. You let go, and that should then pair it up so that you're all good, and that's set up. So let's now your car should look really nice when you're driving it around. So let's hit play here, and automatically you can tell this thing looks like a really nice racing game car. You notice the camera rig follows your car and actually, like, for the most part, acts like a real camera around a car. I mean, it's not perfect, but it does look pretty nice and realistic, if you ask me. So you can already do this. You can already make this up, and you can already take like this platform here and duplicate this and move it around a bit and build some. I'm gonna quickly do some stuff here. You can already build some buildings, bring them up here, move that there, and then just generally build things around it and hit play. And you can already simply make yourself like a city or whatever really easily without having to deal with all like the annoyances of having to build your own car. You can build your own car rig. It'll take a little bit hard. It's a little bit harder to make, but you can build your own car and camera rig if you want really specified ways for things to work. So this is already pretty nice. You can still have the problem of falling off. So if you guys ever want to make a map board or an invisible map board, I'm gonna include a little secret thing you could do with this. So what we're gonna do real quick here is I'm gonna select all these cubes here just for clarification, and I'm gonna call these wall/floor. And that will change all of these names to wall/floor so we know what's what. So what we're gonna want to do now is we're gonna want to right click, go to 3D object, and just create a cube. You know, it just looks like a normal cube here, but for us, we're gonna want to drag this down and drag this down to like the floor area of it, which is where the car level is. We're gonna want to see how far we can get it down. Basically, you want it intersecting a little bit with the lip of the bottom there. We're gonna want to drag this over. This may take a little bit, but you want to drag that over using the handles. Oh yeah, by the way, a quick little tip: if your stuff ever looks like this and you don't understand why it looks like all this stuff, you can actually use the QWERTY handout layout on your keyboard, QWERT and Y, to change between movement modes. And you can also see up here you can actually click and manually switch between them. But all these do different things. You can have just hand mode, which just moves your thing around the scene. This movement mode is just simply moving. The E one, or this one, is meant for primarily for rotation in all of its axes. But then you can even go over even further, this is the scale option for resizing. Over here, you can do this in all angles. I showed this earlier. You can even go even further, which this is primarily meant for 2D, but you can really smoothly create boxes, which will be what we're doing today. So we're gonna switch to, and there's also one more over here. You don't need it too much, but it basically gives you all of the options in one. You get access fully to I don't know if I see resizing in there or anything, but there's one handle for resizing, but you can rotate, you can move, you can scale up and down, you can do everything. It's a bit complicated, but it works. So I'm just gonna go back to regular movement here, and we're gonna go over to this one over here. You can click it, the rect tool, but you can also just tap T on your keyboard to get, and making sure that you place this at the very edge of your map and you've intersected a little bit into the lip of the ground. First thing we're going to do, we're going to move this, we're going to grab this bottom right one, and we're going to grab it so it's a pretty thin wall right there. Now we can back up and we can kind of, if you move over kind of like this, to view it like this, if you want it exactly, making sure you turn to a different direction, and you can see this big little thing over here. You can toggle which perspective you want to be looking at. Now you do have to be you see, if you just try to do this, it'll just move again. But if you you click it and you press in on your scroll wheel like a button, and you move it around, you can move around while still maintaining the axis. The first thing we're gonna do is call this invisible wall, like that, so we can not get confused. And I'm gonna so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna grab this handle, and we're gonna drag this out. And as you can see, this is a really efficient way of building walls for your map, so people can't get out without just messing and kind of making it hard, making it difficult. But once we do that, we can create that, and we can actually really easily just hit this X button, and it will automatically toggle us to the next one. Now, you may think it might be a bit weird because it's going to be hard to move it, but all you have to do is select your invisible wall, hit Control D, or I think right click and duplicate. Once you're on the new one, you're going to want to pick the rotation, go to, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to want to hit Y. You're going to want to select Y. You can either rotate it as accurate as you want, or you can go to Y, and I'm just going to hit 90, with 90-degree rotation, and that will rotate it 90 degrees. So it's all set up for that now, which is already nice. But if you uniformly made your wall, your platform, this won't be a problem. You can just drag this over. But in this case, I didn't, which you probably didn't, that might not have either, so I still need to do it. So I'm going to hit T again, and I'm going to drag this over and make that perfect intersection. And you can do the same for all the other sides until you can get all of them perfect. You can even do that. You can even duplicate that one and move it over, which shaves a lot of time off. And you can do, once you do that to half of them, you can kind of like expertly kind of move things around. And there, now you can move around again holding your right click, and now you have a big white wall. And you're thinking, well, what's that going to do? That just looks like a big barrier and my players are going to feel really confined. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to make these walls actually invisible now. So I'm going to go back to my assets here, right here. I'm going to, just for organization types sakes, I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit create and then folder. And I'm going to create an other folder because this one doesn't really classify into any of the mainstream places that you put them. And I'm going to open that up and I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit create and I'm going to go down and I'm going to find material. For me, it's right under audio mixer, which is more placed out, so this should be easy. I'm going to click on material. Oh, I didn't click on material. You're going to want to right click, create, and a new material. Now, if you do accidentally click away, it's fine. You don't even have to name it, but you can, if you can right click and hit rename, or you can click expertly on the text, and it will allow you to edit again. So I'm going to call this invisible. Call that invisible. Now let's do some editing with this. You notice that the inspector transforms over to this editing system with a whole bunch of weird values when you click on a material. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go and do a few things. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find the main maps and we're gonna see this white color thing. It looks like a specific color adapter with albedo right next to it. So we're gonna click on this white box and it's gonna open up a color tab. Now we're not gonna set it to any direct color, but I'm gonna go down to the alpha channel right here. And we're going to want to grab this little slider and drag this all the way down or select and set this to 0. That should already make a big difference in making it invisible. Now you notice it hasn't even done anything to our wall. Our walls are still solid. So you can click and drag this invisible thing here. And you can either drag this onto the end of the walls like this, or more easily you can actually drag them directly onto them in the scene, which should then apply the invisible texture to them. And as you can see, there's something going on. They're not doing anything yet, but what we're going to want to do mainly here is just apply this to every single wall so that they all get the same changes at the same time. So let's select the invisible texture here, and once your alpha channel is 0, it's set to transparent, you're going to want to go to rendering mode, and to make this all work, you're going to want to set this to transparent. Now you notice, instantly you notice that there's like a glass style texture around your entire map. You can still kind of tell from the edge here that it's foggied, but it's already still a lot of clear. But if you really want to get this thing to like be completely clear, you can go into the shader option here. Go down. You can try to figure out which one works better for you, but I like going to something that isn't really compatible with this. I like to go to UI and change it to something like lit, and then just find something weird, and just found like transparent. Oh, that's a bad one. That my friend might cause some issues. So you're gonna wanna, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna change this to UI. I'm gonna try just experiment here. Go to UI lit, and I'm gonna change to transparent. Now instantly the entire wall has just vanished. Now it's not disappeared, as you may know. If you just simply click where the wall was, you'll notice a big orange outline will appear as you select it. And I can hold down shift and select all of the walls at the same time. And you can see these walls are still here, you just can't see them, which is very cool. I'm gonna quickly create an empty object, which is basically a folder in your hierarchy here. And I'm gonna rename this by clicking on it. I'm gonna call this let's say barrier walls. Now I'm going to quickly reset the transform just for neatness, and I'm going to grab all the invisible walls. I'm going to drag this into barrier walls. So now we have a neat folder that we can just select to select all of them at the same time. So here we go. Now we have invisible walls. Let's try this out a bit. Hit play and let's try out and see what we get here. Notice you can already start out. You can move around a bit. It still looks like just like it was before, but when you drive outside the map, your car just smacks into an invisible barrier that you wouldn't have thought was there, but actually is, and stops you from driving off the map. This is especially nice when your game doesn't have a reset button and your character can't really just fall into an infinite abyss. So yeah, you can drive anywhere, you'll always hit the wall if you try to leave. No matter how much you try, you cannot leave the map. So yeah, that's today's tutorial, probably a little bit longer than usual, but I want to thank you guys profusely for watching, and definitely sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm just trying to get my road up to, I don't know, around 50 subscribers. That would be great. I'll be very happy to try to do that for you guys and be able to make something special for you guys once we hit that landmark. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!